Speak.
The unrighteous will be turned to ash. Gathering chill!
Alright everybody, now that you saw what it looks like, let's go over what I'm using. I would like to give all of my thanks to Grim Doro. This is the person who helped me so greatly reach a part of this game I have never been at before, and it is beyond fun. I can't wait for in a couple of days to try the new class and the new weapon and experiment with turning my druid into a dragon. But let's go over Hollow Palm and what he showed me, which is absolute perfected peak. Here we go. With everything that I got going on with my gear, passives, skills, I'm sitting at 1 life because of chaos inoculation. So I take no bleed damage, no chaos damage, but my life is 1. However, my energy shield is my life. It's at 5,665. My maximum mana is 767. My spirit is at 248. I'll explain how it's so high without having spirit on my chest or my necklace. I have little to no armor. My evasion is 65%. Although it could be higher, I am balancing being strong with being resilient. My resistances are 75, 75, 76, and 0 for chaos, which I don't need because I don't take chaos damage. You can take a look at the detailed stats here and see that I have 0 armor, but I have 18,150 evasion. I do have a deflection of 5,082, and deflection chance is 39%, and the damage prevented from deflection is 40%. That makes up for the armor, because armor reduces damage you take, but deflection also reduces damage you take. This is how you use evasion and also take less damage. As you can see, only my lightning is extraordinarily high, higher than it should be. My cold also, yet that's just a side effect of the gear itself. There's no reason to play around with that. Now, as far as the character goes, passive tree. So in my ascendancy, I have chosen Master of Elements. I came up to the top here called Lead Me Through Grace. What this does is gives me spirit for each 8 energy shield on equipped body and 1 for every 20 evasion on equipped body. That's how I get my extra spirit. Then we moved up here to I Am Thunder. 10% damage extra as lightning damage, 25% chance on shocking enemies to create shocked ground. Then we came down here with the final 4, a little increase in crit chance. We have Sunder My Enemies, critical hits ignore negative enemy monster elemental resistances. Then we have more crit chance, and finally, something called Elemental Expression, and scatter them to the winds. When you melee crit, you trigger Elemental Expression. Now, Elemental Expression pops up here when you get it above your quarterstaff, which is actually my bare hands from the passive tree. I'll explain that. So in Elemental Expression, I'm going to do some amazing things with it. I'll explain in a moment. Coming out of the tree, I'm taking my skill speed, following into attack damage, going up and right into flow like water. I'm going to jump into mindful awareness, but then I'm going to come back and go for the flow state skill speed into here. Took strength because I needed it to qualify for things. Took intelligence here because I needed it to qualify. If you don't, you take dexterity for everything. Coming up into here, I take everything that I need to get to concussive attack. Then, going to the top right, I'll jump into here, go to this bottom left one, get Killer Instinct, go down and get tenfold attacks, but only what I need to get those two. And then coming up and branching to the top left, I go in here, grab myself the critical damage, crit chance, and true strike. Then going straight to the top, take whatever you need, intelligence, dexterity, strength, intelligence or strength. If you don't need either of those, you take dexterity. Then going into here, I grab deep trance. A little bit higher to the left, I'm grabbing the evasion and energy shield and inner faith, but not the extra one down there. Then going again to the top left, coming back down, I'm grabbing what I need as far as stats and grabbing elemental damage. Going back for some echoing frost, going in for some echoing thunder. Now, going to the top right, I'm swooping in, grabbing some more dexterities here. I have a gem in this gem socket called Megalomaniac Diamond. This Megalomaniac Diamond allocates Hulking Smash. Hulking Smash is 30% increased stun buildup and plus 15 to strength. I also allocate with this gem Splinters. Splinters is 30% increased stun buildup and hits break 50% increased armor on targets who have ailments, which they have all the time. Then I'm coming back down to the bottom right to snag Chaos Inoculation. This is what makes my health 1. But as you can see, I'm immune to chaos damage and bleeding. Coming down a little bit further, I'm going to the left to grab Thin Ice, 20% freeze buildup, 50% damage with hits against frozen targets. And then I'm going to the right to grab myself Critical Chance and Careful Assassin. That'll be the done for this area here. Now, as I branched off to the top right, down from the middle there, I came up here for the Evasion Energy Shield and to grab Spectral Ward, +1 maximum energy shield for 12 item evasion on equipped body armor. This helps out with staying alive. Then, I come down here and this is the build itself. Hollow Palm Technique. What it does is, it allows you to attack as if you're using a quarterstaff with both of your hand slots empty. Unarmed attacks that would normally do quarterstaff damage instead gain physical damage on their skill level. So if you have a level 20 skill gem, it gets a huge bonus. It also gives +1 more attack speed per 25 evasion rating on equipped armor items. That is your hands, your boots, your chest, and your helmet. As well as 0.1% critical hit chance per 10 item energy shield on equipped armor items. Again, that's the helmet, the chest, the gloves, and the boots. Whatever energy shield translates into critical hit chance. Now, we come down here to the right. We're going up into this attack damage to grab Blinding Strike. We're going a little further down, jumping up into here to grab Agile Succession. Then we're going to the right, and we're jumping up into here to grab Subterfuge Mask. We're going to go straight to the right first to show you what we have down here. As we get towards the end, we grab Walker of the Wilds. Mana Leech recovers based on elemental damage types instead of physical damage. You need one of your rings to give you mana back based on physical damage you do percentage-wise, and then this helps you not run out of magic. Without this, the build is impossible. Here's another jewel slot. In this slot, I have Heart of the Well Diamond. 14% extra damage on top of everything as cold, 8% increased critical strike chance, 3% attack speed, and also 11% of damage is extra chaos damage. Coming down here, I go up to the right, grab my critical chance, grab my critical damage, grab my attack critical chance, and then get struck through. 1% increased critical hit chance on attacks. That's a strong 1%. Coming down here, we're going to the bottom right, going in, grabbing Herald damage, some Herald damage, and grabbing Coming Calamity. This is 40% increased cold damage affected by Herald of Ice, 40% fire by Herald of Ash, 40% lightning damage affected by Herald of Thunder. So this is going to benefit us greatly when we're using Heralds. So, coming back over here, we were branching down below the Subterfuge Mask to grab ourselves some elemental damage, freeze, build up, and then finally harness the elements. 20% increased damage for each type of ailment on the enemy. That's up to 60%. Then over here we branched down before we get to electrotherapy. In between electrotherapy and mental toughness, we're branching downward, going to the right, grabbing dexterity, proficiency, dexterity, evasion, and then enhanced reflexes. We're going further down in the middle here, branching to the right for some melee damage, attack speed, rapid strikes, which is more melee attack speed, some accuracy rating, 10% melee damage, and coming back for reaching strike. We're not grabbing the 2 on the top here. This is the passive setup for the build that I'm using right now for a level 90 character. Now, going into my skills, on my elemental expression from my ascendancy, I have Freeze, Blind 2, Nova Projectiles, Ricochet 2, Stun 2. Going down to my Tempest Bell, which I rarely have to cast, but works juicy on the bosses and monsters that give you even the slightest trouble. We have Overabundance, Freeze, Magnified Area, Rapid Attacks 2, and Close Combat 2. Coming down to Ice Strike, our main ability, we are hitting more often than anything else. We're getting that with a Rage 3. We have Rigwald's Ferocity on it. Supported skills 20% more attack speed if it's used in weapon slot 1. And supported skills deal 15% less damage if used in weapon set 1. So it makes us faster and a little bit less strong, but we are plenty strong, and that doesn't matter. We're not using any weapon slot 2s at all, so we don't have to worry about what happens with that. Over here we have Rapid Attacks 2, Pinpoint Critical, which gives you insane critical chance, lowering your crit damage bonus a bit though. We have Crescendo 3. The final strike of the supported skill is ancestrally boosted every single time. Now, in the Shattering Palm, the second most important ability that you'll be casting, and most often, this is going to teleport you around the screen to the greater distances. Ice Strike will teleport you to shorter distances. Shattering Palm has Magnified Area 2, Rapid Attacks 2, Ice Bite, Freeze, and Ancestral Call 2. We also threw in a Trinity, which requires 100 spirit to use, but is definitely worth it. What Trinity does is it's 66% more elemental damage per 30 resonance. You build resonance by hitting enemies with an elemental type. Since I'm hitting enemies constantly with more frozen than anything else, it ends up building it up really high on the frozen, and also very quick because of how fast we're hitting everything and killing everything. So the resonance as well, because of the quality 20, is also giving 15% skill speed, while the resonance is over 250, so you get uber fast once that builds up. The gem I have in there is Fire Mastery. Although it's been explained to me it doesn't matter if it's Fire, Cold, or Lightning Mastery. For this particular gem, all of them apply, and you can only use one, the same bonus, because this gem itself counts as all three: a Fire, a Ice, and a Lightning gem. So Fire Mastery does the same as the other two, and you cannot stack it. For defenses, we have Wind Dancer. We have Blind 2 on that, Cooldown Recovery 2, Maim, Close Combat 2, and Magnified Area. On my Herald of Ice, I have a special one called Auroch's Smelting. Fully breaking armor with this supported skill causes affected targets to permanently take 2% increased physical damage up to 20%. Supported skills break 70% more armor. Herald of Ice is now going to break the crap out of the armor and increase the damage they take. We also have Armor Explosion on here. When you fully break armor, boom. Next we have Ul Nettle's Embrace, another very special skill gem. This skill gem breaks armor equal to 20% of cast damage dealt by supported skills. Supported skills gain 20% of physical damage as extra cast damage. Pinpoint Critical, again, that awesome crit chance. Magnified Area, a bigger explosion from the Herald of Ice. So Herald of Ice, shattering an enemy with non-herald attack hits will cause an icy explosion that deals attack damage to surrounding enemies. Herald of Thunder, while active, killing shocked enemies with a non-herald attack will cause subsequent attack hits to release lightning bolts which deal attack damage to all surrounding enemies, and it goes quite far. This one has Heidi's Mercy, another very special gem. Supported skills cannot kill enemies with hits. Supported skills that cause damaging hits. Hits from supported skills cannot kill enemies. Okay. Then we have Pinpoint Critical. We also have Imbiter.
Hello, you back cool?
If supported skills would gain extra damage from any other type than cold, they gain extra cold damage instead. Hello there, welcome. We've got Freeze, more build up on the Freeze, and then we have Magnified Area. So my Herald of Thunder is also doing ice damage. Now, we have Ghost Dance. The only one I have in there is Compressed Duration 2. Supported skills deal have 30% less skill effect duration. This does help it happen more often for you. Now, we have Hand of Chayula. What this does is, perhaps you're going to fight a boss and you want it to die quickly because your wife's saying it's time to eat and you don't want to piss her off. This is the skill you use for that. Once you cast this on the enemy, it will automatically apply Sniper's Mark. We're putting Super Critical on here. Supported skills, 100% increased critical damage bonus. Supported skills, 20% less crit chance. Culmination 2, Ancestral Call 2, and Elemental Armaments. So you'll be casting this one time before you slam your bell, and then you'll cast it one time after you slam your bell. And if you have to slam your bell again, I would be very surprised. Those are the skills that I'm using for this perfect build that I have. Now, coming over here, we have the gear. The helmet, very special, 553 energy shield. As you can see, it is stacked like a mofo. We got some critical hit chance in there, 21%. We got 28 fire resistance, 21 cold resistance. The necklace that I'm wearing, the Lunar Amulet, allocates Storm Charged. Storm Charged is 40% increased elemental damage if you did a critical hit recently, plus 20% increased critical hit chance. We also have on this 60% increased evasion rating, 58% increased maximum energy shield, plus 3 to all melee skills, 30% increased critical hit chance, 32% increased critical hit damage bonus, and 37% increased global defenses. My ring on the left hand here is a lightning resistance ring with 25 to 42 cold damage to attacks, 3 to 80 lightning damage to attacks, 60% all elemental resistances, 22 fire resistance, 31 lightning resistance, and 191 evasion rating. The chest piece has 1538 evasion rating of 578 energy shield. It's also got 3% additional physical damage reduction and 54% adding to the energy and evasion shield, making that really high. It's got an added 38% cold resistance. It's got its evasion rating increase. It's got maximum energy shield increase 40%, again, energy and evasion. 30% lightning resistance, 57% reduced poison duration on you, 109% increased evasion energy shield. So it is out of this world maxed out here. My ring on my right hand is 31% cold resistance ring with 2639 cold damage to attacks, 157 lightning damage to attacks, 32% fire resistance, 42 on the cold resistance. It leeches 6.57% physical attack damages, mana, 36% increased cold damage, which is our main thing. Now, remember before I was telling you in the passive tree that you're taking Walker of the Wilds. What this does is Mana Leech now is based off of elemental damage instead of physical damage. So what that means is this physical attack damage recouped as mana now is cold damage, and the other elements recouped as mana. While you are fighting big mob groups, you do not lose your mana. It's wonderful. Now, going to the boots. We've got great evasion energy on it, 554 and 222. We've got +1 maximum lightning resistances, a nice little icing on the cake. It's got a whopping 38% lightning resistance, 30% movement speed, some added evasion there. More maximum energy shield. We got 100% increased energy and evasion. We've got gain deflection rating equal to 23% of evasion energy rating, and we have 100% increased effect of socketed items. Going over here to the belt, this belt is very important. With Chaos Inoculation, your potions will do nothing unless you have Chevron's Satchel Fine Belt. This belt has 21% fire resistance on it. It has 3 charm slots. You gain 0.17 charges per second. It has 23% reduced flask life recovery rate, plus 30 intelligence, 20% increased flask charges gained, and life recovery from flasks now also applies to energy shield. That is the reason why you must use this. Now, as far as our charms go, I do swap them out just in case sometimes to some stun resistance charms, but I'm currently running some anti-frozen charms and Nascent Hope Thawing charm, which is another anti-freeze charm. Here is the crown jewel, these amazing Maelstrom Vice War Wraps. These gloves with low 86 evasion and only 33 energy shield are a powerhouse for the character's abilities and damage. A whopping 32% increased attack speed, 16% increased attack speed again, 15 to 22 fire damage, 4 to 70 lightning damage to attacks, 28% increased critical damage bonus, 100% increased effect of socketed items, and then another 24 to 36 cold damage to attacks. These gloves are absolutely wonderfully peak performance. This flask that I'm using, 30% of recovery is applied instantly. If you can get your hands on a flask where 100% of the flask is applied instantly, but it reduces the quantity by 60%, that would be ideal. I have not created one just yet, but this one works perfectly. You do have to spam it because we have so much energy shield. This isn't really giving me a lot per se, but it does have the 43% increased charges, so I've got 10 hits on it in a row if need be. My mana potion is a level 60, and it just has increased amount recovered and 22% reduced charges per use, so it's got 10 spams on it. When you cast this, because my magic is not actually that high, if you look at it, my total magic, my mana is 676. When you hit this, it won't break away so fast when it starts pumping up. So you can keep going even if you're not killing large groups and you're only hitting one at a time trying to find the next large group. Okay, so this is the character. This is the build. Used by Worst Nightmare and brought to Worst Nightmare by the legendary Grim Doro. Thank you for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Now, as far as the Atlas goes, I can't give you advice on exactly what to do because I haven't delved into where I would really go and for what reason. So I did randomly just go to the left here to get myself a bunch of shrines, because that makes mapping much faster and easier when you get shrines to pop up more often, and believe me, you do see them a lot more often when you have this down here. So if anything I could recommend, I would recommend going down to the left. As far as everything else is concerned, I'm sure there's something online that can give you like perfection for this. I myself haven't dove too far into it to be able to tell you where to put what well enough, so I don't want to sit here and pretend that I know what I'm doing when it comes to this thing. Thank you for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. As usual, if you haven't yet, like and subscribe. It'd be wonderful to have you follow along as I try the new class with the new weapon in the new season coming out. And to top this video off, I'm just going to go ahead and run another one for us. Take a little gander real quick at what all of that actually translates into. Make sure I have myself some of these in case I run into a box. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh wow, that's pumped up, huh? Don't even need to put anything on that. Alright, let's make sure it looks good. See, this one has freeze buildup. Alright, but it doesn't have freeze buildup and increased stun buildup. So I'm going to run it. Freeze buildup and stun buildup are some of the worst that you could possibly get in the game. So let's see how my character handles this. Now, as far as playing the character, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be blitzcrank smashing buttons. But what you're trying to do is shatter palm to the group of enemies and then let ice strike go ham by holding the button down. But I find myself hitting shattering palm and ice strike quite fast, maybe shattering palm once for every 2 times I hit ice strike. But the reason why is because shattering palm teleports me out of danger, and so by hitting them both quite often, you're just moving around and not getting stuck and hit by stuff that might actually end up taking you down to a point where you get killed. Most of the other stuff happens by itself. If you run into an enemy you want to kill very quickly, you could slam Tempest Bell on it. However, with all of the gear that I have, I never really need to cast Tempest Bell anymore, not even on a boss. I do it anyway because it's fun. And you can also, if you really want to kill a boss fast, pop off the Hand of Chalua right before the bell, and then right after the bell, and it will just nuke it completely, no matter what boss in this game it is. It's ridiculous. Let's check it out.
Oh, the weary traveler draws close shattering to the end of this life.
This shrine ice strike is at 18 attacks per second before we even build up our elemental expression. I mean, before we even build up our trinity. We're pretty much done with this one, and as you can see, there's little or no worry about being frozen, even with that increased modifier. This is why I like running 3 anti-frozen charms at the same time. Especially that nice, unique one that I found. Most of the time you buy your stuff from the market to get your character nice and uber, but sometimes you actually find something amazing. Thank you for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. This is Worst Nightmare, showing you a build that Grim Doro has blessed me with. And just to make it known, he not only had showed me the build, gotten me the gear, gave me the actual skill gems, but he walked me through the passive skill tree and spent hours on his own working out what would be the perfect thing for my character, and came back to me several times each day with a new, slightly different setup that would benefit me even more until I reached this peak point where it can't possibly get any better than this. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day, and 'tis the season to be jolly. Be kind out there. See you later.